how to sit in standing Qigong. So let's say that we're starting from here. So there is, in standing Qigong, Zhan Zhuang, there is a position called Wuji. Now, Wuji is a fairly variable event, frankly. You can either just be standing completely upright. You could even have your knees slightly bent and be sitting like this with your palms flat to the floor. It doesn't really matter too much. Basically, what we're doing is we're just relaxing and calming. So when the body's upright, this is the easiest position to be in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through, first of all, a grounding exercise, which is we're not bending the knees, where arms are just by our sides, and it's about aligning your posture. So you can half close your eyes. There's nothing to see, by the way, absolutely zero to see. You don't even have to look at your screen. Just got to put up with me talking at you the whole time. So you just get your weight in the middle of your feet, close your eyes if you want, half close them, leave them open. It doesn't really matter, but as I say, nothing to see. So the weight's on the feet, obviously, because you're standing up, but where it is on the feet is quite important. You don't want it on the toes. You don't want it on the heels. You want it in the middle of your foot. At the same time, you don't want your toes lifted off the floor, so you just rest your toes on the floor. And your knees are unlocked. They're not bent forwards. They're not bent backwards. They're just straight. Now drop your bum. Feel as though it's really heavy, falling on the floor, and just let go of it. So in other words, what I'm saying to you really is relax the small of your back, your kidney area. But if you just let go of your bum and make it feel like it's massively heavy, you know, it's like 30 stone of bum or something. This is a worrying thought, I agree. And it's actually resting on the floor. It's so vast. I apologize for the terrible imagery here, but it's actually so vast, it's resting on the floor. So you can actually relax your back. You don't have to hold it up anymore. Try that. And it may or may not work for you. So your arms are just dangling by your sides. Just leave them. Let them dangle. You know, each arm weighs whatever it weighs, 8 to 10 pounds roughly. And there they are hanging beside you. You'll find your weight keeps on wanting to shift onto your toes periodically. So if it does, notice it, bring it back in the middle. Drop your shoulders, relax your shoulder blades. Now relax the small of your back. Again, where your kidneys are. Now relax between your shoulder blades, and now relax your neck. Your lips are together, your teeth are not together. So hang the teeth inside the jaw, inside the mouth, sorry, hang the jaw inside the mouth. And when the jaw drops, it doesn't just drop downwards, it's down and away from you on a diagonal. So just relax in front of your ear. When the jaw relaxes into its correct position, sometimes your neck needs to change position a bit. So if you notice something going on in your neck, just don't do anything necessarily, but you may find you need to just move your head slightly backwards to accommodate that change in the jaw position. So your lips are together, your teeth are not together, jaw hanging and running away from you diagonally downwards. Breathe in and out through the nose. Feel the weight of your fingers, your thumbs, your palms. Feel your feet settling, feel your bum relaxing, falling, whatever you want to call it. Gentle breathing. Okay, so just open your eyes if they were closed. So this is the Wuji position we're in. Now we're about to go into the standing Qigong position. So the first thing you do is you do a pelvic tilt without bending your knees, and you start to move your hands away towards your screen slightly. I know you can't see mine moving, but they are. And then, because you can't pelvic tilt anymore, the knees now start to bend, and you sit down, and the arms are raising up to heart height approximately, and you're there. And we just come out of that, just go back to zero again. Now, as I possibly said last week, when you do this type of Qigong, it hits people in two different ways. One, either the legs or the shoulders, sometimes, unfortunately, both. But If your legs aren't very strong, you'll feel it a lot in the legs at first. But it hits more people in the shoulders because we are so used to stay there standing where you are. We are so used to when we lift the arms up to lifting the shoulders up as well. So in other words, we borrow muscles out of the neck to do jobs like lifting something off a shelf. You know, we do that to lift something off a shelf, like it's all gone up. So this is all tense. Now, we touched on this before, I know, and we'll continue to do so. So what you have to feel when you lift an arm up is as though the shoulder drops down an equivalent amount, which obviously it won't, but you feel as though it is. So if you put a hand on your shoulder, leave this hand somewhere down here, you can see it slightly ahead of me. And as you lift up, this should feel like it softens and sinks slightly. If you can do that, it means your neck is not going to be so likely to be involved in the action. And you really don't want your neck involved in the action because you'll end up with a headache, I promise you, if we did this for a long time. Okay, so you're in your position here, you're in your Wuji position. And what you do is you go pelvic tilt without the knees bending, the arms are starting to move forwards. I'm very conscious of not lifting my shoulders up. The shoulders are dropping. I've now involved my knees. The shoulders are dropping as my arms are lifting. And it feels like my shoulder blades are just settling down my back. Almost like they're on a ski slope and running down my back. Okay, come out of it. We're going to do this, 5 or 6 times. So you get lots of practice at it. So pelvic tilt without the knees bending. My hands are moving. And now more pelvic tilt and sitting down, dropping shoulders. And soften the back of your neck, relax it. What are you doing with your jaw at the moment? Have you lost that? Relax the jaw forwards and diagonally away from you. Have you lost that? Don't lose it. And back to 0 again. Pelvic tilt without the knees. More pelvic tilt. Shoulders relaxing. What are you doing with your jaw? What are you doing with the back of your neck? Stay there a second. What have you done with your bum muscles? Have you tensed them? Relax them. Okay, so I had another second worrying image of the day. Okay, so back we go again. I think we might have had this last week, but I can't remember. I've taught a few classes since, to put it mildly. So pelvic tilt and your arms are beginning. Shoulders are settling. Shoulder blades are running down my back. I'm softening the neck. I'm careful of the jaw. And I'm making sure I don't grip the buttocks up, but that's difficult. Okay, now then, here's the second worrying image. You've got a golf ball, tennis ball. No, let's not go for a tennis ball, it's too big. Squash ball, golf ball, jammed between the 2 buttocks. Okay, now just relax the buttocks so it drops on the floor. And back. So you've got several things to do to organize your body on the way up into the position. Okay, let's do it one more time. So pelvic tilt, arms are beginning. I'm already conscious of my shoulders and my shoulder blades. I'm relaxing my neck. I'm trying to relax my buttocks on the way up. Careful with my jaw. I've dropped my golf ball, my tennis ball, whatever. Oh no, not the tennis ball. It's a little big, isn't it? And just lower and come out of it. Okay, so to be honest with you, we can do 2 things here at the same time. We can look at the legs and the arms at the same time. So forget your legs for a second. Just facing the screen, you're standing upright, it's fine. You need to do a pelvic tilt still, but we're not going to bend the knees. So pelvic tilt and lift up. Now, make sure your shoulders drop and you're here. Okay, so we're out here. You see how the fingers are in a sort of a rounded shape here? It's as though there's a bit missing in the circle. So it's not that, it's not this, it's not like this, but so it's here, but not straight. So it's as though there's a chunk in the middle just missing that middle bit there. The elbows out to the side a little bit, but don't overlift. I mean, to be honest, I've seen Qigong done like this as well. You can do this. but not for the moment. Just stick with this as it is at the moment. This is a little bit more awkward, it's harder. So you're there. What you're looking for is a sense of a circle all the way around your back. So if you don't relax your back, the circle has become lifted. It's like this is happening, and that is breaking the circle. So this is very, very difficult to do on Zoom, this, by the way. If we were together, I would now, as I said to you probably before at some point, I would come and take hold of your wrists here, and I would push towards you and ask you to relax as much as possible and feel like the circle was blowing up without you doing this, as if you were expanding the circle. Okay, that's the arms. It is, as I say, very difficult on Zoom, that one. Now then, pelvic, with no arms this time. Pelvic tilt, and now more pelvic tilt so that your knees bend, sit down. Would you now imagine that someone is taking hold of your legs here and they're squeezing your knees together? Now, all you do is, so hang on a second, let me just get there. Okay. All you do is with your legs, watch me first, and then you do it. You feel as though you're doing that, but you don't move at all. If I were watching you on the screen, I would not be able to see your knees move at all, but you know that you're doing this with your knees, opening them outwards very, very slightly. If it's only the feeling of it, that's fine also. Okay, now then, someone has gone and put their hands between your knees here, and they're trying to push you sideways. So what you now do is you squeeze your knees together without moving again. So standing up. So what we do is we go, they call this almost opening and almost closing, because you don't actually show or do anything, but you feel it on the muscles around the legs, okay? And actually up to here. But okay, so pelvic tilt without the knees bending, let them bend. And you're sitting. Almost open, almost close. Almost open, almost close. Almost open, almost close. One, almost open, almost close, neutral. And the interesting thing about this is that I know they're contradictory actions, but you've now connected the fascia on both sides of the legs. You've triggered it. Once you've triggered it, you don't need to do anything else. You can just leave it there. By this stage, your hands would be up here. Don't bother. And then just stand up. So we might as well do the spine as well while we're at it, because once you've got that, you've got the three basic ingredients to making a structure. You've got the hoop around the top, you've got the hoop on the bottom here, and you just need the spine to connect the two together. And we've done the spine bit already. Although you might not realize it, we did it when we did this first exercise here, rotate, push back. And I said to you, lift the back of the neck, but let the bum drop. So you have to feel exactly the same here, but without doing that. Excuse me. So we can go into position. Let's do the whole thing just for a second and hold it for half a minute or something, not for very long. So get your body upright, weight off the toes, but toes resting. Breathe gently. Pelvic tilt, and off we go. We're starting to lift the arms. You pelvic tilt more. Your shoulders are dropping. Your neck's soft. Everything's doing as we did before. You're dropping your bottom on the floor, and you've got a nice rounded shape in the arms. Almost open knees, almost closed knees, almost open, almost close, almost open, almost close, almost open, almost close. Drop your golf ball. Relax your neck. Allow the neck to soften so it lengthens. But also, at the same time, the bottom of your spine, because you're tucking under, relax your bum. You're now doing the top and bottom of the spine as well. And see if you can feel the connection between the neck and the middle of your pelvis, right up your spine. Sometimes you'll be able to get a feeling of the spine actually getting longer. And just lower, straighten up. So the only other thing that we need to do for the moment It's just the hands are like a beach ball. Yeah. Not like this. This is too much. This is too closed. It's just, look at the fingers. They're apart. They're not doing this. They're definitely not together. Sometimes you see with fingers quite spaced. Question how useful that is, because it creates quite a lot of tension, but it's somewhere between spaced and closed, so it's somewhere in the middle. You definitely need space in the fingers, and it's just this rounded shape here, elbows sunk,